Shalawam, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto YAHAWAH BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalawam, CHASAADYAM, Barakyam. Peace, mercy, and blessings unto all of you Sequoia and Barakyam, to the hopeful elect, to the BAYATH DAWADA. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahawah, which means He exists, He is to be. The true name of the Son is YAHAWASHI, which means He delivers. We are the Hebrew Israelites, which consist of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians. Okay? According to the Bible, we have biblical tribal names. We make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel, from Judah to Issachar. The so-called white men are not white, they're red. They are the Idumeans, according to the Holy Bible. Okay, so I just wanted to bring out some information on Herod the Great, and how he was an Idumean. Okay, and just to land back off my previous video about the Maccabees, John Hyrcanus, and how, you know, he forced those E's to accept our customs. Okay. Excuse me. How he forced those E's to accept our customs. And so much that you had Herod the Great as an Edomite, but he was pretty much in the lot of a king. All right. It says Herod the Great. You can read about him in Matthew the 2nd chapter. Okay, verses 1 to 22. Luke 1 and 5, Acts 23 and 35. I believe Acts 12. Okay, the son of Antipater, an Idumean. Okay, and Cyprus, an Arabian of noble descent. He was an Idumean. In the year BC 47, Julius Caesar, who was also an Idumean, made Antipater a wily Idumean, procurator of Judea, who divided his territories between his 4 sons, Galilee, falling to the lot of Herod, who was afterwards appointed Tetrarch of Judea by Mark Antony, 40 BC, and also king of Judea by the Roman Senate. He was of a stern and cruel disposition. He was brutish and a stranger to all humanity. Alarmed by the tidings of one born king of the Jews, this is Yahawashi, he sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under. Matthew 2 and 16. He was found to splendor and lavish great sums in rebuilding and adorning the cities of his empire. He rebuilt the city of Caesarea on the coast, and also the city of Samaria, which he called Sabasti, in honor of Augustus. He restored the ruined temple of Jerusalem, a work which has begun in 20 BC, but was not finished till after Herod's death, probably not until 50 AD. Okay? After a troubled reign of 37 years, he died at Jericho amid agonies, both to body and mind. Yeah, the Lord smote him, man. Alright, because this dude was very fucking wicked. He had a lot of men, women, and children put to death. Alright? I believe he had James and also John the Baptist put to death. Okay? According to the common chronology, in the year in which Yahawashi was born, after his death, his kingdom was divided among three of his sons. Of these, Philip had the land east of Jordan, between Caesarea, Philippi, and Bethabara. Antipas had Galilee and Perea, while Archelaus had Judea and Samaria. Okay, this is from AmazingBibleTimeline.com. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. Okay. It says, Herod the Great was born in the land of Idumea, or Edom, around 74 BC, which is about when he appears on the Bible timeline chart. He was the son of Antipater of Idumea, who was a high-ranking official for Hyrcanus II. Okay, and Hyrcanus I, he was the son of the Maccabean warrior who led the Maccabean revolt against the Syrian Idumeans, or the Greeks, the Seleucid dynasty. Okay, and Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth. Okay, and what John Hyrcanus did is he forced those Idumeans to follow the customs of the Jews or leave their land. Okay, it says Herod was an Edomite that adopted the customs of the Jews in the past. The Edomites were ancient enemies of the Israelite people. I'm going to say Israelite, with no ish is a suffix, which means to pertain to. Okay, Edomites were the ancient enemies of the Israelite people, but they were no longer relevant as a people during this area. Many of the Edomites were absorbed into other culture of the time, and one of those main cultures was the Roman culture. Of course, you had Ptolemy down in Egypt, so they were absorbed into the Egyptian culture as well. Okay, and of course the Greek culture. Okay, but you did have a large sect of them who had to embrace the culture of the Jews. The Jews had conquered these people around 140 BC, right? And forced many of them to accept their religion or leave the region. Now that started with the Maccabees, but ultimately John Hyrcanus. All right. Though many Israelite people didn't care for foreigners worshiping their God and adopting their customs, Herod was made governor of Judea when he was 25 years old. Hyrcanus II was made king and was king of Judea during this era in Israelite history, and his throne was usurped by his nephew Antigonus. Herod lost his power as governor, and he fled to Rome to appeal for help. The Roman Senate supported his cause and ended up making him the new Israelite king. Okay, so he went to the Rome, and that's exactly what the Maccabees did too. They made friends with the Roman Empire, but the Roman Empire, or Edomites, nothing more than Edomites that adopted the Greek and Egyptian culture. Okay, Herod went back to Judah in 39 BC and married Antigonus' niece so that he could have some legitimacy to the throne and the Israelite people. So they began to marry the Israelite woman to have some legitimacy to the throne. Okay, so they were intermarrying with us, keeping our laws, our customs. Okay, but at the same time, teaming up with the other Idumeans in Rome and Greece and to help further oppress us, man, and to cut us off. He had to end up banishing his wife Doris and her son to pull this off. In 36 BC, Herod defeated Antigonus and was finally able to claim the throne. All right, BillPetrol.com, History of Herod Antipas. History of Herod Antipas, while YAHAWASHI, okay, which that's the true name of the Lord, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, called him that fox. History of Herod Antipas. Herod Antipas was the son of Herod the Great, whom we met in the Christmas story, which we know that's all bullshit. So we have to spit out the bones there. It's really the story of the birth of YAHAWASHI. And Malt Lake, after his father's death in 4 BC, he was made tetrarch of Galilee and Perea in the Transjordan area of Palestine, which he ruled as a client state of the Roman Empire. Like his father, he was a lover of great and artistic architectural works and built a beautiful Tiberias, named after, guess who? Emperor Tiberius Caesar, and as the capital of his kingdom on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, which was renamed to the Sea of Tiberias. Similar to his father, you could say he was an Itelophile. YAHAWASHI appeared before him during his many trials on Good Friday, having been sent to him by Pilate. But after the audience, Antipas sent YAHAWASHI back to Pilate. Antipas sent YAHAWASHI back to Pilate. Background of Herod Antipas. He was married to the daughter of Aretas, king of Arabia, but afterward divorced her to the wrath of her father. Antipas found himself at war with the king and was saved only with the help of Rome. He took away from his half-brother Herod Philip, his wife Herodias. Her influence over him led to his utter ruin. So he was with an Israelite woman, man. Okay? As you may recall the story of John the Baptist, the prophet denounced Antipas breaking the Israelite law, right? Because he was claiming to be an Israelite, right? Okay? But at the same time, he was being wicked. He was murdering people, committing adultery, worshiping false gods. Okay, so the prophet John the Baptist rebuked him and the prophet denounced Antipas breaking the Israelite law, which is the law of adultery, by taking his brother's wife. The Israelite historian Josephus further tells us that Antipas feared the prophet's popularity with the people, right? He knew he was a man of the Lord, and subsequently imprisoned him. Herodias did not like John the Baptist, right? Because he rebuked her. Okay? And she should have got stoned for committing adultery, so she didn't like him. And after her daughter Salome pleased the ruler by her dance, he promised the girl anything up to half his kingdom. She requested the head of John. This execution did not make Antipas any more popular with the people, so Salome, 9 times out of 10, she was a tear. Because Herodias, being an Israelite woman, she was with those Idumeans who embraced the customs, law, statutes, and commandments of the Israelites, man. Okay, so when you go to Matthew 12, the parable of the wheat and the tares, this was happening way back then, and of course it happened a lot during the transatlantic slave trade, but it was happening a lot back then, man, especially in Rome as well, Herod Antipas, that fox. This is Herod. This is the Herod that Yahawashi called that fox. Yahawashi was not referring to the king's personal portraiture. From a study of Greek, Latin, and Hebrew literature, it can be seen that the fox is both crafty and inferior in its position. The fox is an insignificant or base person in contrast to the lion. So calling someone a fox, that was like calling him a curse word, man. Calling him a snake, calling him a fraud, calling him a flaw. Alright, so Yahawashi pretty much cursed this damn devil out, man, and said, you're nothing but a fox. And what's a fox? A very base person. Alright? Compare a fox to a lion. Who's going to choose a fox? No one. Everyone's going to choose the lion. Alright? And who's that lion? Yahawashi, lion of the tribe of Judah, man. And what is the lion? The king of the jungle. Okay? And Yahawashi is that lion. The king of the Jews, man. The true king. Alright? King of kings and Lord of lords. It says the fox is an insignificant or base person in contrast to the lion. He lacks real power and dignity, using cunning and deceit to achieve his aims. And that's Esau to a T. Okay? Through peace, destroying many. Okay? His words of his mouth being smoother than butter, and war being in his heart. This is Psalms 55 in verse 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And that's Idumea to a T. In fact, when the wise men came to Yahawashi, alright, when the wise men came to Herod and told him about the birth of Yahawashi, what did he do? But really wanted to go and kill him because that was a threat to his position. Alright? This is the book of Matthew chapter 2 and 1. Now when Yahawashi was born in Bethlehem, right, which Yahawashi is an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, and he came to save his people from their sins, right? Sin is transgression of the law, right? He didn't come to save Herod. Herod's the seed of the wicked, man. He's the tare. We're the wheat, okay? saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Why? Because he was a fucking tyrant. And the people of Jerusalem, they hated this nigga because he was an Idumean, and he was a tyrant. He was a complete devil to the people, man. Man, he was such a devil, he was having his own children put to death because he thought they were going to assassinate him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where YAHAWASHI of Mashiach should be born. And they say unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet. Okay? And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent him to Bethlehem and said, Go, search diligently for the young child, and when you find him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. Now, he wasn't going to worship him. He was going to have him put to death, right? When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till they came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And being warned of the Most High in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed in their own country another way. Now, why did the Lord do that? Because they would return unto him. They probably wouldn't want to tell him what it was. So then Herod would have begun to torture them and make them tell him. Okay? Something that's a possibility, But the Lord gave them warning not to go back, because the goal of Herod was to kill YAHAWASHI. And when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. See? Herod was trying to kill him, man, because he was a threat. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son. And you can actually find that precept in the book of Hosea. I believe it's Hosea 8. I'm just going to look it up real quick. Okay, Hosea 11. It's Hosea 11:1. When Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. Right? So he called YAHAWASHI out of Egypt because he had to go to Egypt to flee from the persecution, man, from the wrath of these damn devils who wanted to kill us and cut us off from being a nation. Hey, this was a very heavy time, man. You had the Greeks, you had the Romans, you had the time, man. YAHAWASHI was born at the perfect morning. All right, he's born at the perfect time to deliver us, man. Okay? No, not Revelation 2, Revelation 12. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Okay, now that woman is Israel. Okay, the 12 stars represents the 12 tribes. Okay, I believe the sun and the moon represents the knowledge the wisdom, and the understanding. All right? And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. All right? And there appeared another one in heaven, behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. Now this is dealing with the Roman Empire, the different vassal states, and their different kingdoms. Okay? The ancient Roman Empire, man. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, which that's dealing with the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because those were the only 3 tribes that were over there during the time of the Greeks and the Romans. Okay? Because the 10 tribes, they left before we went into the Babylonian captivity. So they have been gone a very long time. Okay? You had the Assyrian Empire. You had the Babylonian, which the Babylonians are Assyrians. You had the Medo-Persians. You had the Greeks. You had the Romans. Okay? So this is around the time the Roman Empire coming into its power. And his tail drew the third part of the heavens of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, which is Israel. All right? And that woman being the mother of YAHAWASHI. Okay? Which she was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was born. Yeah, that's what they wanted to do, man. All right? It says, see, Herod slaughters babies. All right? And this is what these devils been fucking doing. Going back to the Greeks, they would slaughter the woman for circumcising the children, and they would kill the woman and the babies, man. All right? When you read the book of Maccabees, it says that they shed innocent blood in Jerusalem. Okay? Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth or angry, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Thus was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, In Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not. And you can actually find that in Jeremiah 31:15. Thus said the Lord Yahawah Bahashaam Yahawashi, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Right? That's when Herod the Idumean sent the head out to kill all the babies, man, of 2 years older and younger, because he couldn't get Yahawashi, and that's that dragon. All right, because he was set up in power by the Roman Empire. That's that dragon trying to devour the man child. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars from heaven, the southern kingdom, all right, who will collectively be called the Jews, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. That's Yahawashi. And her child was cut up unto Yahweh to his throne. You can read out about that in the book of Acts, the translation. Okay? And Yahawashi got taken up in the cloud before the disciples. Back in Matthew 2. Matthew 2:19, but when Herod was dead, right, he died, then his sons began to sit on the throne, who are more Edomites. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they have dead which have sought the young child's life. And he arose and took the young child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus did reign in Judea in the room of his father Herod, he was afraid to go thither, notwithstanding being warned of God in a dream. He turned aside into the parts of Galilee, and he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets, he shall be called a Nazarene. Okay? So yeah, this was a very, very heavy time. Okay? And this devil was very wicked. Okay? Herodias did not like John the Baptist, or they call him here the baptizer. And after her daughter Salome pleased the ruler by her dance, he promised the girl anything up to have his kingdom. She requested the head of John. This execution did not make Antipas any more popular with the people. Herod Antipas, that fox. This is the Herod that Yahawashi called that fox. Yahawashi was not referring to the king's personal portraiture. From a study of Greek, Latin, and Hebrew literature, it can be seen that the fox is both crafty and inferior in its position. The fox is an insignificant or base person. In contrast to the lion, he lacks real power and dignity, using cunning and deceit to achieve his aims. His downfall came with his nephew Agrippa I, who later tried the Apostle Paul, as recorded in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 12, accused him of plotting a conspiracy against the Roman Emperor Caligula. The emperor exiled him to Gaul, where he met his wife Herodias, where they were both passed out of history. Okay, now I'm not sure if this was the same Herod in Acts 12, or maybe it was one of his sons. Okay, so Salakia, but Yahawah Bahashaam smote his ass. All right, now about the time that Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. You see that? He killed James. He killed the babies trying to kill Yahawashi, and he had John the Baptist beheaded, man. Okay? And because he saw it pleased the Jews, the wicked of our people, he proceeded to further take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread, the Passover. Okay? And this word here for Easter in Acts 12, all right? It's not dealing with bunny rabbits and eggs and Ishtar. Okay, we're going to go into it really quick.
Strong's G 3957. Pascha. Pascha.
Which the Hebrew word is Pesach, meaning the Passover. Okay? The Pesach sacrifice, which was the custom to be offered for the people's deliverance from the old Egypt. All right? The Passover festival. The Passover supper. Okay? The Paschal lamb, all right, or the Passover lamb, the Israelites, which Yahawashi is that lamb, were accustomed to slay and eat on the 14th day of the month of Nisan, the first month of their year, in memory of the day on which their fathers, preparing to depart from Egypt, were bidden by Yahawah Bahashaam to slay and eat a lamb, and to sprinkle their doorposts with its blood, that the destroying angel, seeing the blood, might pass over their dwellings. Yahawashi crucified is likened to the slain Passover or Pesach lamb. Right? It's not dealing with no damn bunny rabbits and Easter egg hunting, man. All right? So we're going to jump down to 20, Acts 12 and 20. And Herod was highly displeased with them of Tyre and Sidon, but they came with one accord to him, having made Blastus the king's chamberlain their friend, desired peace, because their country was nourished by the king's country. And upon his that day, Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne, and made an oration unto them. And the people gave a shout, saying, "It is the voice of God, and not man." So they were praising this man as God. Okay? And I believe these were heathens. Could have been some Israelites in there too. But they were praising this man like he was a god. And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, because he gave not the Most High the glory, and he was eating of worms, and gave up the ghost. Okay? But the word of Yahawah Bahashaam grew and multiplied. So he was broken without hand, just like Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth was broken without hand. The Lord smote both of their ass, man. But the Lord fucked Herod up worse, I believe. He killed them by worms, man. All right? Had worms eaten. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to bring out. You know, just a quick lesson on that information. You know, I pray that this has been edifying. Call halalyam la, all praises to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalawam, Barakyam, Barakyam. Peace, mercy, and blessings to the elect.